my goodness. I got a new phone, and this thing's like a super close-up in comparison to the last one. How do y'all like being all up in my face? Anyways, I had some thoughts that were brought to me by a gentleman that I've become connected to, but you may know him as well. He's been around for a while. He's written some amazing books. His name's Jason Clark. And in one of his books, he kind of casually talks about the parable of the sower and the seeds. And he makes a really good point. And I wanted to have some thoughts on that. So one of the main things about that passage that was always drilled home to me was it was about the soil. And the soil represented our hearts, and the seeds represented the words of God and the gospel. And if the seed was sown and your heart was hard, or your heart was full of weeds, or your heart was, what's the other one? Probably should have looked this one up. Rocky soil, weedy soil, hard. If it was, it was too much sun, not dry, nasty, ugly. Like all those seeds were gone, because in essence, your heart was so bad and so in need of God's discipline. Oh man, right. But then the good soil, that reaps 40, 60, 100-fold. And that's what you wanted. You wanted to be the good soil so that God didn't waste the seeds of the gospel in your life. And then they would just hammer you like for whatever, 45 minutes, and then they'd give an invitation. Do you want to be, if you have any of this in your life, then you've got bad soil, and then the seeds won't be sown, and the birds are going to come steal it, and the weeds will come and choke it up, and the sun will rise and wither it. Some of you have grown quickly, but your roots aren't deep, and this is all our fault. And so the whole passage is usually, in my world, sorry, I keep dropping my phone. In my world, the whole passage is designed to manipulate your behavior, manipulate your heart, manipulate, who you hang out with and what you do with your day. And if your quiet time's long enough, or if you read the Bible at all, then, you should read it more. Like there was just a lot of negativity and behavioral modification / manipulation. And Jason brought up the point that this parable might be about the sower, the farmer, who takes his good seed and spreads it everywhere. What? I was like, Jason, dude, this should be the whole book. What are you doing just writing a page on this? It was just so refreshing because, again, I do this in the Old Testament with my podcast all the time, right? I've discovered so many amazing references to God being good and not being the angry, punishing killer God that so many people make him out to be. But I don't need to describe all my podcasts to you guys. You can go there and listen for yourself. But here it was in the New Testament where a passage that makes God look like he is not good, right? That somehow it's our fault that his good word is wasted. His love is wasted, rather than saying this farmer is so good that he puts his, like, what was the farmer thinking throwing the seed on the hard soil? Does the farmer not know what he's doing? Well, no, of course the farmer knows what he's doing. What's the farmer thinking throwing it on rocky soil? Did he lose his mind? Did he just walk down some random path, get off the field and start throwing seed on rockies? No. He knew exactly where he was walking. Did he throw it out into a field where he knew a bunch of weeds grew and he was like, oops, my bad. I guess I don't know what I'm doing. No, he's a good farmer. He's got good seed. And he starts planting his fields, and the soil is great. He knows he's going to get a great harvest. But then he also knows, if I plant these good seeds all around my field, in the rocky soil, the hard soil, the weedy field, there's a chance. There's a chance my goodness is going to pop up. And I might not get 100-fold, but I might get 5-fold. I might get 2-fold. I might just get one single plant that somehow makes it. But that one single plant could start to transform that field from weeds into harvesting. And one single plant could start breaking up the hard soil and turning it into good soil. Now, one single plant could grow up amongst the rocks and find ways to break up those rocks with its roots. And I might get a little harvest. It might take some years. I might have to throw good seed into that soil a few more years in a row. But you know what? That good farmer trusts that good seed because he knows the power that is in a seed. He knows how much is contained in that seed. How it's not going to just be one plant. It's going to be multiple seeds that come out of that. And the opportunity for multiplication is there. And he's like, I'm going to throw good seed on soil that may be difficult. But I have faith in my good seed, and I have faith in the love that it's sown with, and I trust it will provide positive things in the future. You know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like Jesus. That sounds like the kind of God I love and the kind of God that loves me. That sounds like a story Jesus would tell to a bunch of Jewish people who would be like, whoa, because they would have recognized this is about the sower. No farmer is stupid enough to do this inadvertently. He did it on purpose. So anyways, thank you to Jason Clark. If you don't know him, check him out. Get his books. It'll blow your mind. It'll blow your mind. Just one page. One page blew my mind. Anyways, have yourself a good day, everyone.